Hey everybody, Trevor Sickham here with another edition of Mock the Mock, the internet mock draft show, hosted by me, which we take a look at the latest mock draft over at the Draft Network, and I pick out some selections that, let's just say, if I was doing the mock, maybe it would have been different. Brentley Weissman did the mock draft this week, and I love Brentley's mock. As a former scout, I mean, he really has a good eye for it, and I feel like he knows what teams might be thinking. So the first pick that we got to choose, it of course had to be a quarterback pick. That's the flavor of what we've been talking about during this part of the draft season. It's with Mac Jones. I know you probably figured it was going to be Mac Jones. In this mock draft, Brentley has Mac Jones going number 9 overall to the Denver Broncos. And I got to say, getting Mac Jones at 9, as opposed to maybe, say, trading 3 first-round picks to go up to number 3 to get Mac Jones, that's a lot better. So if we're comparing those two things, I'd actually really like this value. But I still don't love it for Denver because even though quarterback seems to be their best bet, Jones being the pick, I don't know how much it does for me. Like, they obviously already have Drew Lock, and if they think they can upgrade from Drew Lock, I'm all for it. They made the moves in free agency to give them that kind of flexibility, but I don't know how much of an upgrade Mac Jones really would be over Drew Lock. If you're picking a quarterback in the first round, you got to go get a difference maker. And if this was Fields, heck, maybe even if this was Lance, I'd be okay with it, but I just don't love it for Mac Jones. And so even though the value compared to what we're hearing, Mac Jones potentially going top 3, top 5, this is a lot better here at number 9. I still don't love it for Denver because I don't know how much better it makes Denver. For our next pick, let's head down to number 20. Now, this is another team that could have used a quarterback. All the quarterbacks were long gone at this point. This is the Chicago Bears, and Brentley has them taking Minnesota wide receiver Rashad Bateman. I love Rashad Bateman. I think he's a fantastic wide receiver. He's got the potential to be that Justin Jefferson kind of a guy where he's not going to be wide receiver 1 for people. Sometimes I think he might be wide receiver 2, but he'll probably get drafted in the latter half of the first round. And shoot, he may just turn out to have the best rookie year depending on his landing spot. All that to say, I think that he's a good player. I don't agree with the pick here for the Chicago Bears. Now, they have Allen Robinson, they have Riley Ridley, they have Anthony Miller, they have Darnell Mooney. Like, they have all these receiving options. Yeah, there's not a lot of long-term security with a lot of these guys, but they don't need Bateman. They don't even have an offensive line that can hold up for whoever's playing quarterback. Looks like it's going to be Andy Dalton, at least to start. They have to pick an offensive lineman here, especially with Samuel Cosmi on the board, with Liam Eichenberg on the board. These guys were still there, and the Bears passed them for Bateman. I like Bateman as a prospect, and look, I hear you. Don't pick just for need. Go pick the best player available. You're right, but when you've built a subpar offensive line the way that the Chicago Bears have, you need to do something about it. And I think that this pick's got to be an offensive line pick for the Bears. For our last pick, we're going not too far, down to number 24, where Brentley had the Pittsburgh Steelers selecting Alabama running back Najee Harris. Now, I know a lot of Steelers fans are going to love this. They want a running back upgrade. Najee Harris is probably the best one in this class, so I think objectively they'll like it. I just don't think this is the best use of their resources, especially with Alejandro Villanueva no longer there, their left tackle spot. You've got Dylan Radiance, you've got Liam Eichenberg, you've got Alex Leatherwood. All these guys are still on the board to fill that left tackle spot, and you didn't pick any of them. Instead, you picked a running back, and their running back room is fine. It's fine. They could get by with it. They don't have to invest their first-round pick here, especially when they have big needs along the offensive line. And so I love Najee Harris. He's going to be my running back 1, and I think that he would be a really nice Pittsburgh Steeler. But again, this is just another instance where you got to build the trenches first. The guys behind him, they can't do nearly as much if those players up front can't block the way they need to. And especially with Big Ben going into another season in which he has to be a lot better, you can't go into this 2021 season with that big of a hole at left tackle. They also have center as well. So I think this has got to be an offensive line pick one way or the other for the Steelers. That's all for Mock the Mock this week, but don't worry, the Mock Madness is not over yet. Of course, we have favorite fits coming up later this week where we will take a look at Brentley's mock draft from a different point of view. I'll pick out some selections that I really, really love. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned.